secondary cutout tank, we need to empty anything that might be in there. So the first thing we're going to do on this occasion is close the boom valve. So we heard the boom valve close. If you forget to close the boom valve and you've got a load in the back, when we change it over onto pressure, then anything that's in the tank will come out through the boom. So we don't want to do that. So we make sure the boom valve's closed. We're then going to open the drain valve at the bottom of that tank, and you can see the drain valve there. Okay, so that's now open. We're then going to go to the back of the machine. We're going to start the vacuum pump and change it onto pressure. Safest place to do it. So the boom valve is closed, drain valve is open. We're going to start the vacuum pump. We're going to let the vacuum pump get up to its normal speed, which it is now, and then we're going to change it over onto pressure. So you saw the needle moving slightly to the right, it's now moving slightly to the left. And if we look at the tank itself, we should see it blasting out. Air coming out now, and you can feel the air coming out. So there's nothing in the tank. We never stop the vacuum pump when it's under pressure. Even though it's just slightly off the zero, it's still technically on pressure. Change it back to vacuum, let it get to zero, and then stop the pump. And the reason we don't stop the pump when it's on full pressure is that it could damage the pump, because you've still got pressure in the system. Even though you've stopped it, you stop the oil feed to the hydraulic drive unit, there's still pressure in the system, and that continues to drive the pump round. You'll know when you've got it wrong. If you stop the pump under full pressure, it'll make an awful lot of noise, and if you're really unlucky, you'll break the couple. So I'm happy with that so far. I'm going to close the drain valve now. And we know that that catchment tank, secondary cutout, is now empty. Now sometimes it can be blocked. So we're going to go through the same procedure, but this time we're going to leave that valve closed. The boom valve is still closed. Okay, so we'll just check again, that's open, that's closed. And we're going to do the same thing again, but with that valve shut this time. So you can get an idea of what might happen if it became blocked. We're going to start the vac pump up. Let it get up to its normal speed, and then change it to pressure. And you'll notice how quickly this needle starts to rise. So that's simulating a blockage. So if you saw this happening and that drain valve was open, it would mean you've got a blockage. You do not want to go around there now with your screwdriver and start poking up that valve, because if there's any pressure in there, it's going to come at you. Pretty wet. So we don't stop the vacuum pump when it's got full pressure. You can actually hear the safety valve blowing off. It's worth having a little look at that whilst we've got a bit of pressure on. So this safety valve is actually coming up. So the safety valve working correctly. Change it back to vacuum and allow the needle to get to zero before you stop it. All good. And then what we can do is open the boom valve again. And that's really how we should be leaving the machine.